My name is Nikhil Nath. I run a company called Knowcross, which specializes in product software for the hotel industry. We are now a 10-year-old company. We just started our 10th, just celebrated our 10th anniversary. So we started the company back in 2002. The basic thing that we do is provide different kinds of products for upscale hotels around the world. Our products are installed in about a few hundred hotels, spanning about 30 countries around the world today, pretty much all continents save for perhaps Antarctica. We were founded in India, in New Delhi. This is where we continue to be based. We have resellers and other kinds of partners who are based around the world, and we're just in the process of expanding our own presence, as in with a direct office in the US. It's an interesting journey. Like all entrepreneurial ventures, it obviously goes through its cycles, and it's a little tough at the start. I think you meander along for a little while before you find your footing. So like many other startups in the technology space in India, or elsewhere in the world for that matter, we took our time finding our feet and becoming a stable company, if you will. Today we are well established in our domain. We're well known. We have a brand that is well known, and as an Indian company actually. So it's been an interesting journey so far. I think there's still a long journey ahead of us as we gain momentum, and I think over the last 3 or 4 years we've really felt that momentum. One of the most interesting things that we're doing now is we're actually starting to sell our solution into hospitals. And as you can imagine, there's many elements of a hospital that are very similar to a hotel, and you have a lot of hoteliers who are starting to go work for hospitals. So in India too, that's true. The hospital market, as you know, has become very corporatized in the recent past. The kinds of services that are offered are very hotel-like, at least as far as the room, etc., is concerned, and therefore a lot of their facility management requirements and other management needs are very similar to what's there in hotels. So that's an interesting area that's opened up for us. We're also doing a lot more in the hotel area today. So we started off as handling one piece of the operation in a hotel. Today we do much more. Our domain expertise has allowed us to spread into a lot of areas and add many more functionalities to what was really a single product serving a single need when we started off, and that's expanded significantly. We serve a couple of hundred customers around the world. We're growing at roughly 50 to 60% per year right now in terms of our customer base. We expect next year actually to be a much stronger growth because we've actually launched a few new products now, and these products are starting to go out into the market, and they actually cater to significantly larger market spaces. So our older products were a little bit more focused on the 5-star market, if you will. The new product line is actually focused on 3 stars and 4 stars, and there's many more 3 stars and 4 stars around the world. So while the revenue per customer may go down because obviously the affordability is a factor, but the flip side is that the volume will be significantly larger, and so we expect a lot of growth in the next few years. So I mean, from a growth perspective, we're targeting about 100% growth year on year for the next 3 years at a minimum, if not more than that. Knowcross is at a couple of hundred hotels around the world. That's a fraction of our market. If we look at some large hotel chains, each hotel chain probably has a size, some of the largest ones, sizes of 4,000, 5,000 hotels each. That's a very large number. So we've barely scratched the surface, and we're a small-sized company, but a highly profitable one even at this scale. So frankly, I would suspect that in the next 5 to 7 years, we have an opportunity just within the hotel segment of probably becoming at least 10 to 20 times our size, if not more than that, at the very least. We also think there's going to be a lot of branch-off opportunities for us, and we will capitalize on those opportunities. So there will be opportunities to take our product into other domains, which is going to be very interesting, and not have to change too much as we take them into those domains. I'll give you a small example. We're doing something called a checklist product right now for hotels. It allows somebody to set up a checklist of any kind, and you can basically go and run an inspection. So if you were an inspector, let's say inspecting classrooms, you could go to 20 classrooms in a school, and your report would get automatically submitted, tabulated, etc. And of course, it's all mobile centric, so there's no pen and paper involved anymore, right? You could do the same thing in an interview. You could do the same thing for an exam, etc. So things like this are going to change the nature of the game a little bit. So as far as our own company is concerned, I think we will grow about 20 to 30 times. I think we will continue to be based in India. I think India provides us many advantages to be able to do that, but we will have to set up many offices across the world. The reality and the irony of the world that we live in is, as much as we're connected today, the fact is business still gets done face to face. And it's very important to have that local presence. The fact that we are an Indian company does or could play against us, because somebody simply feels the inconvenience of dealing with a salesperson who's sitting across two oceans, right? That doesn't necessarily work for people. So I think those are some changes that I would see in our business over the next 10 years. I do see us as a global company with many offices and a significantly larger size than we have today. I would say across our products, I wouldn't be surprised if 10 years from today, we're in 20 to 30,000 hotels at the very least, because as we create more products, those products are going to have to cater to the 4-star and the 3-star and perhaps the 2-star market. When we went out initially, and we went out to markets like Southeast Asia, we went out to markets like the US, there was almost an inherent expectation that we would be lower priced and offer the same functionality, and that's just how it was going to be. So I think one of the things that we did very differently from a lot of Indian companies is we actually said, no, this is our price, and this is the quality of our product and the functionality and the features and the value equation that we offer. And it's a significantly better value equation than you're getting with some other competitors out there. And we stuck to our guns. It was very hard, and I'm talking 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006. Brand India was starting to become louder in those years, but it was very soft back in 2003. If you remember. And I think as we got to 2007 and 8, Brand India had become much more well-known. People had gotten to know it. Events like Davos had huge Indian presence, which was covered extensively on the media. A lot of companies who may have sat on the fence in the 90s, really in the first decade of this century, really planted their flags in India. So they became much more familiar with India. India wasn't something about elephants and snake charmers anymore. And we went from that to India being a firm part of any company's strategy. And certainly in the hotel industry, no hotel industry player of any note could afford to ignore India. And so their investments into India also started to grow. I think people don't discount India anymore. I don't think people necessarily look for discounts anymore. The other big change that happened is people actually had a degree of confidence when they said, oh, Indian and tech. Oh, okay. So I don't have to ask you questions about what your tech is. I know you guys can do that stuff. Now tell me about what else you can do. So that's a significant change that happened. And I think we've lived that change.